All right, welcome back to the World of Tanks National Finals here at WCG at Comic-Con. I'm here with Conflict from Band Angels, who just went 3-0 against Boishti. Keep wanting to say that name differently.
Boishti.
So, tell me, how was it? What were the thoughts going into that match? How did you expect that round to go?
We kind of expected it to be a faster-paced game. We saw them play some of the earlier games. They seem to be a team that kind of flanks a lot. So we figured, we'd just be the armored fist. We go in hard and heavy, fast, focus targets, get around them, eliminate the guys that are stragglers. They tended to have tanks by themselves, so we'd exploit that, that 6-second window when the guy has no support. Get in there, you get 4 shots, tank's dead.
So, yeah, I'm especially thinking of I believe it was the second match on Himmelsdorf. What was going on there? There was a lot of spotting going on, and the 1390 going back and forth. Looks like trying to figure out where he could, poke a hole in or something. What was going on there?
Well, Himmelsdorf historically has been a horrible map for us. It's really we just don't play it very well, or we haven't played it very well previously. So this time we decided to kind of take a step back. Just relax, use our spotters, see where they are, take it slow, and that way we can exploit any mistakes they make. So. Well, by killing their spotters first, then we control the map. We control, where they can see, where they can't see. So we funneled them into a location. We kill their scouts. We push our scouts forward to make sure they're not flanking. And we saw an opportunity where they had 1 or 2 tanks separated from the group. As soon as we saw that, we just called for an armored push, and you just push into him. We killed, a Tiger 2 that was isolated. He got 1 shot off, maybe. He was gone. And then we saw a T-34. There's a little bit of confusion on the call there, but we kind of just, we didn't really need a call at that point. We just kind of knew what to do, so we focused, one at a time. They went down. They made a quick break for the cap at one point. We essentially just decided to ignore it because it was 1 tank, and we knew we could get back in time. And we had Captain No Pants. In
his 1390 still there.
Yep, 1390 is still alive, full clip. I think he got killed, but he did enough damage to where I could just come around the corner and pop him.
Right, and he reset the cap, and that's all you really needed him for, right?
Just needed the extra 20 seconds. And when he reset the cap, they knew they couldn't cap, so they actually got off and went down the 3 line and ran right into a wall of armor and death.
Right. Well, beautiful games there. And what do you expect? I mean, still unsure here, Curse or War and Peace. So I'll put you on the spot here. Who do you think you'll face, and what do you think it's going to be like?
Both teams are very different in their approach to how they play. We've played both of them many times. War and Peace tends to be a team that likes to sit back. They like to assess a lot more. They like to kind of use their artillery a lot more. So they're kind of a ranged team. They like to snipe. And Team Curse has kind of different depending on who leads their battles, because they have 2 battle leaders.
Yeah.
And it could if it's Nagatron. He's more of a War and Peace kind of tactic style guy. He likes to sit back, uses scouts, whereas Friction, who I've known for a long time in a lot of different groups in AOD and back in the day, he lives in Michigan with us, so he likes to play kind of like we do. He likes to go hard and fast, except he's a little lighter in his tank selection. So he likes to go light and fast. He goes in there, uses his arty, uses his tanks, gets right up in the mix, and frankly, that's where we shine. We like that kind of combat more than sitting back, because we tend to get impatient and bored, and we feel that the 15-minute matches where no one does anything just ruins the game. It's not going to take off if people just sit around, I think.
So what you're saying though is from Team Curse, you kind of not sure what to expect necessarily at first glance.
We know what to expect unless they switch up their battle leaders. In that case, it could be. I mean, we know what to expect. It's just you can tell the first 10 seconds depending on the tanks they bring out. So I mean, we're not really going to adjust too much because we find that adjusting on the fly. They don't do as well because you're not drilled in what you're doing. Right,
and now I'm going to go back here since we're talking about Team Curse, because you guys lost them the first set there. It was pretty close. I mean, you lost 2, then you won 2, and then you lost the 5th battle. So a very close round overall. What was going on there? I mean, especially the 2 losses, what were you guys kind of thinking? Did you make any major readjustments that you think led to the 2 victories?
Well, the first round, we had some technical issues, actually, I believe. It was on... Oh, sorry, not the first round. The first round, we had a communication issue in the team. What was supposed to happen is our 5100, the faster tank, was supposed to go back and watch our cap specifically for what they did. So he was supposed to go back and stop the cap, and most likely, if he had done that, he would have stopped the cap. We would have capped. What they did is they sent 2 tanks back to stop us, but we sent 2 tanks out to block their stoppers, and it worked, beautifully. Except our 5100 couldn't stop the cap. So
right.
So that was that game. In the second game, we had a lot, technical issues. So whatever there. In the third game, they picked Lakeville, and they must have been out of position. I don't know what it was, but we annihilated them on that. I mean, it was frankly, it was an annihilation.
There was the IS-3 seemed to get kind of isolated, and you guys took advantage of that and just rolled right down the hill on them after that.
I think they were out of their element for sure. They didn't roll. They ran their heavy block, which is our specialty, and we had the high ground. They had 3 isolated, and again, as soon as we see an isolated tank, we just
right,
we were on the corner. We were on the corner, nuked him, and we had a guy in the middle who was actually stuck the whole game. He was stuck sliding down the hill. So we effectively had 1 tank down that whole game. And but because of our high ground position and them
that was the Pershing,
right? Right, the Pershing.
Right.
He was isolated, so he was ineffective except for the end there. We finally got unstuck in the last 30 seconds, but because they were on that low ground, and we noticed that they like to rotate their tanks. So you've got a line of 3. When one takes a shot, they'll back him around. So we just held our shots, waited for him to come back out, and nuked him. So we've been adjusting, and then the last round was just bad. it just didn't work out in our favor. We had just issues.
Yeah. I mean, it was evident in the round. No offense,
It happens.
But yeah, it does, and definitely curious to see what happens, especially in this next matchup again between either you and War and Peace or Team Curse. Hard to say probably who's gonna be coming there. So again, thank you, Conflict, for coming up, and we'll look forward to seeing your matchup pretty soon. Just coming up in just a little bit. But next we have Team Curse versus War and Peace. So stick around. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back for that.